What's up, you guys? In this video, we're going to go over yoga for weightlifting recovery, specifically for the lower body. Now, if you know anything about me or my recent articles on my website on leanwithstyle.com, you know that I've been big into yoga the past year and it's been super beneficial for me. And before we get into the stretches, I want to talk about a common thing I hear about yoga, which is why yoga isn't that for girls? And that can be farther from the truth. If you actually lift heavy with compound movements, which are your heavy deadlifts, your squats, bench presses, overhead presses, etc., then you know that it takes a heavy toll on your body. You know this. And if you don't feel this, then you're obviously not lifting heavy enough. Muscles get tight, that joints feel achy. You definitely feel it, especially if you're doing these heavy compound lifts, like with any weightlifting programs, that at least any good ones worth your money, that should be making you lift heavy. And what I've found in the past year is that yoga helps alleviate this tightness, soreness, whatever you want to call it, among many other benefits, which I'll leave some articles in the description of past articles that I've written on the subject and why I think yoga is amazing for weightlifting. And if you want to have flexibility, mobility, anything in your weightlifting career and you don't want to be achy all the damn time. So specifically in this video, we're going to go over 5 stretches or poses as yogis call it. So these are just 5 poses that I like to do. Think of this video as like a volume 1 for this. Sooner or later I'll make another video with 5 more stretches that I like for the lower body. These are just the first 5 that have come to my mind and that I use pretty frequently after my workouts or on an off day when I'm feeling a little sore. These are just some of the 5 poses that I like to do that again relieve the most pain, stress, or tightness that I feel in my body after a heavy weightlifting workout. So there's 5 main poses. So I just want to make a quick note. I'm not a yoga instructor, nor do I claim to be one. I don't claim to be a yoga pro or anything. I've just stumbled upon yoga about a year ago, specifically the book of the Power Yoga for Athletes. And so I just do what poses that I like from that book among other websites that I read. And I just do what poses feel best and relieve my pain, discomfort, tightness, stress, whatever you want to call it. So the first pose, and there should be a video popping up on the screen of me doing this, is the pigeon pose, but I like to do a sequence. So this isn't, I don't know if this is really yoga, but I saw this like running stretch that I eventually turned this running stretch into a pigeon sequence. So it consists of 4 poses or stretches where basically you put one foot on the ground and the other knee on the ground and you lean forward, so your whole foot is flat on the ground, but you're basically going forward, so your knee is over your toe and you're kind of stretching out the ankle. And then once you're done with that, you go backwards while still keeping the foot flat. So this is going to stretch those ankle muscles right there that I'm touching in the video. And so I do this on each leg, and then from here I do the pigeon pose. So the pigeon pose is where you put whatever foot is up onto the ground. So like so, you go slowly. Depends on how flexible you are. But this one, you're going to take your back foot and you're going to go back and make sure you feel the tightness there. And this is a great hip mobility pose. And you're just going to try to keep a straight back while doing this. And it could be a little uncomfortable at first, but this is a great pose for the hips and for the ankles, as from the first stretches we did in the beginning. So I have no idea what pose this is called, so I'm just going to call it through the window because I've heard that terminology before. But essentially just lay on your back. You're going to put one foot on the opposite knee, and there's a little window that is created between your right leg, and you're going to put your hands through that and reach back and then pull that knee towards you, and then your hip you should feel your hip stretching basically. And so you should feel the stretch in your hip there, and you're going to do it on both sides. So you basically reach through the little window between your right and left leg and pull your left thigh or right thigh, whichever one is up, and towards your chest. So the third stretch or pose, I put 3A here because some people can't do the bridge or the bow pose, which I'll show you in a second. But if you can do either one of these, just choose one. I'm going to show both right now. So first I'm going to show the full bridge. So the full bridge is another great pose that I like to do to stretch out my back. This is one of the best poses, I think, in my opinion. I like to do this after any heavy deadlifts. And if you cannot do a full bridge, then what you want to do is the bow pose. I only recommend doing one of these. I'm doing both just for the video's purpose. But this video, basically you want to lay flat on your stomach and put your heels up, bend at the knee, and try to grab both ankles. I can barely do it because I have short little arms, but I try to do this and I use my other foot for help. And basically this is kind of the same idea as the bridge. You're basically bending your back, and this is a good stretch for the back as well. If you can't do either one, do a half bridge, and I'll put a picture up on the screen to show you what that is, but choose one of these as your third pose, and that should help a lot. The fourth pose right after the bow pose or the bridge is basically you're just going to lay flat on your stomach and put your elbow should be really close to your torso, and you're just going to shoot up, and it should feel really good in your back and in your triceps. If you can, push off of your toes, and the only thing that should be on the ground are your toes and your hands. If not, you can just keep your hips and your thighs on the ground as well. And then lastly is the cat and cow pose. So this is just a simple yoga pose. You essentially just round your back at first, and then once that is done, you round your back, and then that's another great pose that I like to do to finish everything off. And then after that, I do the child's pose to end everything off. Cool. So again, those are only 5 stretches or poses that I like to do after a heavy lower body back workout. And yeah, so that's going to be it for this video, you guys. Again, think of this as like a volume 1. The next video I'll do is for the upper body, and then I'll go back to another 5 stretches for both the lower body and upper body. But I just want to make this quick video, you guys. If you're feeling tight, sore, whatever, try yoga out. I promise you it helps with a lot of pain relief and stress relief. So that's going to be it for this video, you guys. Hope you liked it. I'll see you guys on the next one.